Hey guys, welcome back to Container Crops, the Scaredy Cat Gardener. Oh my goodness, today we're going to be talking about why you need to stockpile Coca-Cola today. No prepper's pantry should be without Coca-Cola. I've got 25 amazing things to tell you about Coca-Cola. The reasons why you need to make sure you stockpile Coca-Cola today. There's a reason why you go in the grocery stores, Coca-Cola is missing off the shelf because those that have it, probably already know what I'm about to tell you.
Show off your fantasy reality, whoa, that's yours, but I'll keep doing mine. You'll be living your good life, catch a glimpse from the outside all the time.
Okay guys, we are back. Before we get started, if you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and share the video out. Everyone needs to know about Coca-Cola and why they need to have it in their prepper's pantry. You need to stock up on this amazing prepper's product. Okay guys, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so these items I'm about to tell you about, or these reasons I'm about to give you why you need to stockpile Coca-Cola today, are not necessarily in any specific order. But number one on my list, you can clean your toilets with it. Yes, takes about 20 ounces. You need to let it sit for about an hour, but after that, it's going to get all the grimes and stains right out. So if you can't find any traditional cleansers, you don't have any traditional cleansers, or you run out of them, Coca-Cola will do the trick. Number two, you have some stains on some clothes, blood stains, ketchup stains, any hard to remove stains, soak them for about 30 minutes in Coca-Cola. Then your clothes will be fresh as new. Yes, it will get those stains out. And prepping, and we don't know what may happen and what accidents we may have, how our clothes may become stained. Coca-Cola. Number three, if you're cooking a lot, you know that on the bottom of your skillets, there is no way around having all that yucky, burnt, cookie looking stuff. And who wouldn't want it cleaned off? Take that pot or that pan, sit it down in some Coke, let it sit there for several hours. Then take a plastic scrubber, scrub it right off. Your pots will be like new. Okay, number four, grease in our pots and pans, in our skillets. Sometimes, no matter how hot and nice soapy water we have to wash our pots and pans with, they still feel a little greasy on the inside. Pour some Coca-Cola in it, put it on a very low setting on your stove for maybe about 20 or 30 minutes, then wash it again with some nice hot soapy water. No more grease in your pot. Okay, now we're getting ready to get into the good stuff for our preppers and all of us that are doing the things that we have to do for the things that may come. Our tools. Sometimes our tools get really rusty, but they're still good tools. There's nothing wrong with the tools. They might not work as nice as they need to because they're all rusted up. Take those tools and soak them for at least a day, 24 hours or a little longer, in some Coca-Cola. Then take any non-metal scrubber, scrub all that rust right off those tools, wash them, and let them dry. Tools will look like new. They'll work like new too. Number six, you're in a rush. It's winter. It's icy. Your car is frozen. You've got ice all over your windshield. Pour you a little Coca-Cola on there. It might be a little messy, but it'll turn it right into slush right before your eyes. You don't have to wait for your car to heat up. And that really is good for your back windows, because my experience, my cars, my front window might be defrosted, my sides are working on it, but that back window, it might take a minute. So put a little Coke on there. Now I would personally put a towel or something at the bottom before I poured that Coke on my windshield, because you don't want to get it on your paint. We'll talk about that soon too. Number seven, speaking of windshields, Coca-Cola has citric acid in it, which replaces lemony type products, which means it's also just a really good glass cleaner, not just your windshields, mirrors, or any other glass that you may need to clean. You can put it in a spray bottle, spray it on, and wipe it off. Once you do that, you still want to go over your mirror, your glass just a little bit more with some nice warm soapy water or just clear water, just so it won't feel sticky. But if it's something that you're not really feeling sticky about, it'll look nice and clean and pretty for you. All right, guys, number 8, tile grout. Floor tiles, bathroom tiles. You know how you have a nice light color tile and you got this dirt in between, or I don't know, gook, just gook in between the tile. Take an old toothbrush or something, pour a little Coke in a cup, dip it in there, wet it. Just wet that grout with that Coca-Cola. It's going to break down the grime. It only needs a few minutes. Just let it sit for a few minutes. Go back and wash your towel as usual or mop your floor as usual. Dirt and grime is gone. So we're just at number 8, and as you can see, it has many uses. And you're in a pinch and you can't get these nice products that you're accustomed to or whatever, but you've got some cases of Coca-Cola, you're going to be set. Moving right along. All right, we're on to number 9. Driveways and concrete. We can't help it if we have an oil leak from our car, or a visitor comes along and has an oil leak from their car. But when the car is gone, we got this big puddle of grease on our driveway. Pour some Coke on there and let it sit. Let it sit for several hours. Go back and hose it down. You don't have to pay for pressure washing your driveway off. I mean, unless the whole thing is complete, and then that'd be a lot of Coke. But if you just got an oil stain here or something like that, Coca-Cola on it, let it sit and hose it down. Okay, number 10. Now, if you have kids in the house, especially little kids that like to sit on the floor and color and use markers and things like that, it will also get marker stains up. Now, disclaimer on this one for sure, it does work better on darker carpets, but it will lighten it and get it up on lighter carpets too. It's just better on darker carpets. Put a little Coke on it, use a toothbrush. Keep your old toothbrushes, by the way. Just put them in a plastic bag and tuck them away. As you can see, they come in handy when it's time to clean. Scrub it up and then follow up with just a little rag with some soap and water on it so it won't be sticky or you can't smell the Coke or anything like that. Voila, marker's gone. Number 11 for all my gardeners out there, which should be everyone because you should be growing your own or growing something. It works as a slug pesticide and pest control. Just sit a little bowl out there near your azaleas or something like that, and those slugs are going to hop right on in that Coca-Cola and zap, they'll be gone. No more slug problem. And other little pests, it will attract those too. So you need to have the Coca-Cola, guys. Okay, now number 12 kind of goes along with a couple of other ones, but you can clean your eyeglasses with them. Just spray a little bit on there or take a rag and wipe it off with some Coca-Cola. And then don't forget to always follow up with some warm water to rinse them off with. But any grime or gook or something that gets on them, including makeup, it will get it right off. So yes, and you know, our eyeglasses actually have a prescription in it, so I thought it was worth mentioning it separate from just your regular glass. But yes, clean those eyeglasses up. We are at number 13. It also removes rust and mildew. So if your sinks or something have any rust or mildew, especially if you have an outside sink or a sink that's maybe like in a what do you call it? Like a greenhouse sink or something like that that's outside that may get a lot of rust or something in it, or if it's indoors and it's like that. Sometimes right around the drain area, you may have some rust or mildew or something like that. Plug it up, pour some Coke in and let it sit. Scrub it out. Okay, number 14 is one of my favorites. It actually combats nausea. So if you're nauseous or something, flat Coke is what you really need. But if you don't have flat Coke, you can pour some regular Coke in a cup or something and just stir it until all the bubbles have dissipated. There are no more bubbles coming up to the top. and drink away. That's perfect, especially if you're in public. But it's also perfect if you're stranded somewhere or out in no man's land, and in your bug out bag, you've got some Coca-Cola in there as well. Works wonders. Number 15 on my list is jellyfish. It will neutralize the sting of a jellyfish. And it also works on skunk odor. So you're out in the wilderness and you got that skunk odor, might want to rinse out your stuff in some Coca-Cola. Number 16, have you ever had gum stuck in your hair? Or has a child ever had gum stuck in their hair? Just dip the hair down in some Coke, let it sit for a while. You should be able to pick the gum right on out the hair. That's a gem. Number 17, gardeners, here I come for you again, your compost bin. The sugars attract the microorganisms, and then the acid helps break it down. So your stuff will compost much faster. Okay, number 18. If you've ever been stranded and just to find out that AAA or somebody comes along and tells you, oh, your battery cables are rusting or they have corrosion on them. If you got a can of Coke, all you need to do is pour it on there and give it a second. It's going to just melt that corrosion away. Now that one I've done myself. I've seen it happen, and I personally have done that one myself. And number 19 is similar in that it will loosen bolts. So if you have something and you working it, all you need that bolt to do is move slightly. I've done this one personally too. Just a tad bit. I mean, barely move. If that bolt can move at all, but you just can't get it to go, pour a little Coke on it. It's going to be 100% in no time. You just going to take that bolt right off. Okay, guys, so number 20 is another personal favorite of mine on the list, which a lot of you all might know about this one anyway. Cooking. It will tenderize thick cuts of meat. If you pour some Coke on it, it will tenderize that meat. Or add a little barbecue sauce or ketchup to it. You're going to have a fantabulous glaze. Okay, number 21. Not knowing about the things that may come, where we may end up and where we may have to go, whether it be temporary or permanent. You may end up outside, you may end up camping, you may end up in the wilderness somewhere, you may just end up in the woods behind your house, but whatever. Or peacefully, you could be out fishing and eating anywhere outdoors that you're having any kind of food at all. You're picnicking, if it's pleasure or if it's emergency. Put a little Coke and sit at a good distance away from your area, from where you are, and all the bugs are going over to the Coke because of the sugars in it is going to attract them, and you won't be sitting there going all while you're trying to eat. Okay, we're all the way at 22. You can add like a half a cup of Coke to your laundry, and it will get rid of bad smells. If you're just washing your clothes, and sometimes you wash them, and depending on what it is and where that piece of clothing has been or what happened to it, you take it out of the laundry and you can kind of smell the soap, but you can kind of smell the other stuff too. Next time, just add a half a cup to the laundry. Get rid of those odors. And 23, if you have any metal at all that has been painted over and you want to remove that paint, Coca-Cola will do it. So if you've got some painted furniture, or it could be outdoor furniture, it could be furniture inside, anything that's metal that has paint on it, it'll strip that paint right off. 24, copper pots. Now, just like our other ones, it'll clean the gook off of the bottom ones, but unlike the other ones, with copper, that acid will strip anything off the bottom of a copper pot. You don't have to scrub it. You can just wash it as normal after it soaks in that Coca-Cola. Now, y'all know I had to save the best for last, or at least personally, I think this is a really, really good one. Now, before I tell you about this very last one, I'm going to put my disclaimer out there. I'm not a doctor or anything like that. And this is absolutely not medical advice. And I would only suggest using the method that I am getting ready to tell you about if it hits the fan and you in trouble. This is something that you might want to consider. But you can always talk to your physician beforehand, if you can. And like I said, that's my disclaimer. I'm not giving any medical advice. I am just giving you information that I know about and that I believe in. So, that being said, asthma attacks. Coca-Cola has been known to stop asthma attacks. It does not replace an inhaler or any other medicine. However, if you are out in no man's land and you don't have an inhaler, or someone else does not have an inhaler, and you've got some Coca-Cola, one can has about 35 milligrams of caffeine in it. And a couple of cans is enough to stop a serious wheezing asthma attack. It is the caffeine in the Coca-Cola that does the trick. Again, it does not replace an inhaler. It is not meant to replace any medical advice or medical treatment. But if you're out there on the run for something, or you're stuck somewhere and trying to protect yourself and your things and anything of that nature, and you don't have anything else, but your prepper's pantry has Coke, then you've got something that'll help you out if you or someone else is having an asthma attack. Okay, that is the end of my list. I hope that these things convince you that you need to stockpile some Coke. At least get you some, okay? If nothing else, at least get you some. Think outside of the box. That's my main goal. None of my videos are meant to be doom and gloom and oh, woe is me. But it's to think outside of the box, because we do not know what is to come. And even if we weren't in this situation, or maybe the economic crisis may never come, it may come, who knows? These are still good things to know, good things to do, good things to have on hand. And it's always good to think outside the box. So thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. It'll help me, and it'll also help the algorithm share this video out. As well as I would appreciate it if you all would share it out, because someone else may need to know this, or would like to know this, or could use the information. So help me get this information in the hands of as many people as we can. Okay, guys, and until next time, remember, in a time of peace, prepare for war. And I'll see you soon.
You'll be living your good life. Catch a glimpse from the outside all the time.